everyone, welcome back to Planet CHH. It is time yet again to continue our journey through Taking Shape, and today we're talking about the infamous Halloween 5 Revenge of Michael Myers. So if you have not checked out the previous episodes, definitely go do that now. Go check out the 10 facts about Halloween 4, 3, 2, 1 that I've been doing. And it's not your mama's Halloween facts. I'm not telling you that the Michael Myers mask was made from the William Shatner mask from Star Trek. This book, Taking Shape, has given a lot of great information that you, the viewers, have told me you didn't know about certain things. Not everything, but there are certain things that you guys are learning about. Certainly for me, there are things that I've learned that I never heard about that are in this book, though. That very enlightening book, and I'm only scratching the surface with this book, so don't feel like I'm cheapening out your experience if you wanted to get this book, because there are many things that I don't go into, purposely some of them, because I want you guys to check that book out. As always, I'll have a linked comment, pin my comment with the Amazon link for this book. If you use that link, it doesn't cost you anything extra, it just gives me a couple cents off the sale. So there you go. Without further ado, guys, let's get right into it. 10 facts about Halloween 5. Here we go. So the first fact that I read, this was a shocker to me. When we find out that Dominique Othman Gerard would come on to direct, noteworthy to know that Dwight Little was, of course, wanted to come back from Mustafa Akkad, but Dwight decided not to do it. He felt he got it all out in his Halloween 4 and didn't want to try to step on what he already did. He figured, let's let somebody else do it. Well, Dominique Othman Gerard comes in to direct the film, and it was none other than Deborah Hill who recommends Dominique to Mustafa Akkad. I did not see that coming. Shocked to learn about that, but hey, that's pretty cool. It was Deborah Hill, who is obviously still in contact at this point with Mustafa, despite the fact that her and John left the Halloween franchise a year and a half prior, around 1987, when they sold off their interest for Halloween. So it was interesting to note that Deborah was the one that recommended Dominique to Mustafa. Wow. Alright, so the second thing is this. When Dominique Othman Gerard was pitching his idea for Halloween 5, some of the pitches before that Mustafa had gotten, when he brought Dominique in to listen to some of the pitches that Mustafa liked, Dominique was very vocal that he hated all of them. And when he started to talk about his own pitch for Halloween 5, it was noteworthy that his way of bringing Michael Myers back to life would not just be him not dying. Michael did die in his original idea. Dominique wanted Michael to be struck by lightning like Frankenstein, or, more recently, a few years before that, Jason from Friday the 13th Part 6. And it's also noteworthy to note that Mustafa said, no, we're not doing that. Alright, so this one was crazy. The working title for Halloween 5. The working title had a line that was taken from the original script that Dominique and his partner were working on. We now know it as Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers, which was not apparently known when the film was done, because if you look at the opening title credits, it's just Halloween 5. That's neither here or there. The working title for Halloween 5 was Halloween 5 and the Things That Go Bump in the Night. Yeah, that was the working title for the movie. It's almost so cheesy, I like it, but I can't imagine that deep voice that does the trailers.
Halloween 5 and the Things That Go Bump in the Night.
Yeah, doesn't really have the same ring as The Revenge of Michael Myers. But that was the working title. Alright, so the fourth interesting fact about Halloween 5, we know now that Rachel Carruthers gets killed in the beginning of the movie. And I have gone on record stating that I think it was criminal that she wanted to be above having a gory kill for the audience to enjoy something cool and gory and fun. She was a little highbrow for that, so she decided to just get stabbed on the chest by the scissors instead of getting shoved down her throat. But again, neither here or there. I'm pinballing all over this. A lot of fans find it cheap and sad that Rachel gets killed off early in the film. But did you know that Dominique did that purposefully as a tribute to Janet Leigh's character in Psycho? I know it doesn't play off like that, especially considering what happened with the Nightmare on Elm Street films, where 4 and 3 and 5 literally shows each character dying quickly in the next entry. So it doesn't play off the way Dominique wanted it to look like, and I'm assuming Dominique probably didn't see those Nightmare films a few years before, but he killed her off as a tribute to Janet Leigh in Psycho. Yeah. So the fifth fact about this is something I just found really interesting and I wanted to bring up because it's nothing I ever talked about with friends before, certainly not on the podcast. I never ever equated this, especially looking back because the movies came out years before I was able to really see them. But according to the staff, the writers, the production, Donald Pleasence was supposed to be dead at the end of this film, and as far as they were concerned, he died at the end of this film. This was supposed to be his last film. So much so that in Fangoria magazines, Donald talked about not liking the direction that this film was going, but oh well, because I'm not going to be in these moving forward. Even though Dr. Loomis didn't get decapitated or blown up or anything, or burned, even though that never stopped him before, his death was supposed to be final in Halloween 5. So glad that that did not happen, though. Okay, so this one was just cool, and it's kind of hearsay, but you just never know. So as we know now, in Halloween 5, they introduced this character called the Man in Black. Now, this character wasn't in the initial scripts for the movie, but a character that wasn't as described as such was in second and third drafts because they needed to add new elements. Mustafa really wanted to add new things because he figured having Michael Myers just survive and kill people would not be enough to garner interest for following entries. He looked at it as a soap opera. Well, according to some of the crew members, the Man in Black, look-wise and the character himself, was inspired because on the early days of production, crew members said that they would see a mysterious person dressed in black that would be farther away from the set, would appear all the time, and they didn't know who they were. Now, that sounds just like a good fairy tale creepy thing that could potentially be BS. Other crew members say that the character was written and that was that. And then other crew members say that there was this mysterious person that was just showing up on set that nobody could make heads or tails of who they were. And I'm going to go with that because that just sounds so cool. Whether it's true or not, you know, I know this is a facts video, but the fact is, some of the crew members say that that character for the movie was based off of this creepy person that was showing up on set. And I love that kind of stuff because that's folklore for these movies that makes them even creepier. I'm going to say that there was a man that was creeping around on set that nobody knew who it was. Okay, so the seventh fact about Halloween 5 that I thought was cool was Dominique actually had more character, for lack of a better term, development with a lot of the characters in the movie. One scene in particular that I thought would have been very emotionally gripping was between Sheriff Meeker and Dr. Loomis. We now know that they meet up at the police station, and Dr. Loomis is on a rampage saying he's back, the girl is shaking, don't you remember what she did to your daughter? And at that moment, Meeker grabs Loomis, pulls out a picture from his wallet of his daughter, and shows it right to Loomis's face and says, "Don't you dare ever question my remembrance of what happened. This is my daughter I lost," etc. That got completely trimmed out in the final edit of the film, but that was filmed, but for time's sake and other reasons that are somewhat still unknown, that was cut from the film. Come to find out, there's a lot of stuff that was filmed but cut in Halloween 5. A lot of stuff that was not in the deleted scenes or bonus features on those 4Ks too. Speaking of deleted scenes, let's talk about this, the eighth fact for this video. When Tina and Samantha meet up after leaving Rachel's house, where Rachel is dead, but Tina doesn't know this, they're walking through what looks to be some kind of park area. Well, this was cut from the film. We know that Michael is behind the trees looking at the two girls. Well, Tina is going to start doing cartwheels and dancing and having fun, and she's doing this cartwheel routine, and by the end of the routine, she ends up right by the tree where Michael is, and where Michael is about to grab her and kill her, but then we hear the boyfriend Michael's car rev up. She screams for her boyfriend Michael. This makes Michael confused for just a second, and she escapes. Reading it, it seemed almost like some sort of Scooby-Doo scenario. I could be totally wrong, and it could play out a lot more scarier than what I had envisioned, but based on the way it was described, it seemed like it would have been like a reach for and miss kind of thing. So, I don't know. I'd have to see it to really judge it. The ninth fact just was extremely bizarre. Another deleted scene showed Danielle Harris's character, Jamie, escape the mental ward she was at when she impersonated a doctor. Yeah, a little girl is impersonating a doctor, manages to get out of the ward, and when she's passing one of the security guards, the security guard says to her, "Be careful of the things that go bump in the night." How that would have played out in the film, I can't even fathom. No wonder stuff like that got cut. She is tiny. She's a baby in the movie. I don't know. I like Dominique, and some of the stuff he did with that movie is so visually cool, but something like that just sounds oddly hysterical. So yeah, that got cut. And the 10th final fact, but again, there is so much more about Halloween 5 I could go into, is another deleted scene that I thought sounded great. Now, Michael wanted to get some sort of a diversion to get people away from his house in Halloween 5. Now, this was filmed again and was completely cut out of the film. Michael causes a diversion where he drives back to the mental ward where Jamie and everybody was at and just obliterates cops and a SWAT team right outside of the mental ward. This causes a lot of the cops that were by the Myers house to take off and go to the ward, while Michael himself drives off and gets his way back over to his house. The way the film is shot and edited, they explained how you could see bits and pieces that could go with some of the scenes that were described, but without knowing about it, you would never know. So there is still a lot of unearthed footage for Halloween 5 that more than likely we will probably never see. But it sounds like this film had a lot that just didn't make it to screen. And that's not including the ending, the beginning of the film that we obviously have seen now, the Dr. Death opening, Jamie getting stabbed in the calf and the laundry chute, but actual murder scenes and almost murder scenes and more suspense that was just gutted. So Halloween 5, the movie itself is somewhat of a folk tale too. You know, we've got these creepy guys that are on the set inspiring characters for the movie, and all this deleted footage that I've never seen and probably never will. Maybe someday we will, but yeah. So there it is, guys. 10 wild facts about Halloween 5. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you might not have known about, and be sure to get ready for, you know, what we'll learn about the Curse of Michael Myers. I expect that to be an S-storm, as it were. But again, this book is phenomenal. Reading it has been such a treat. I'll leave a Amazon affiliate link in the pinned comment down below. As always, I appreciate you guys watching. This is CHH, and we'll see you guys next time. Thank you to all my supporters on Patreon. To get behind-the-scenes photos, videos, and music, you can subscribe to my Patreon for as little as $1 a month.